called Neonopolis. He battles through a pack.
Throughout the many tales of Yaochuas, we have been told of stories from the past, from the tales of ancient warriors, hunters that turned on their leaders, and the traditions that are passed down by each generation. We know this species as predators. They are an alien race of hunters that live by their own code of honor and rules. Coming from the far reaches of space, they travel to many worlds to hunt the worthiest prey, to see who amongst them is the strongest. But what about their weapons, their society, and culture? What more can we learn about them? This video will cover 1 hour of different topics in the Predator universe. These are things I have discussed in the past. Things like their hierarchy system, members who defy the honor system and become bad bloods, the story of when Batman fought the Predator on different occasions, the most powerful Predator known as the Clan Leader, a look into the lore about Vasily Rykov from the 2001 game AVP2, the design and function of some of their weapons, along with some other stories. If you enjoyed these 1 hour videos, then leave a like rating. For your convenience, I will provide timestamps, so let's get started. Why do predators hunt? A look at their hierarchy and honor system. The predator race has been seen throughout many sources, and they've been known to hunt man, xenomorphs, hybrids, and other species. They come from a planet called the Yaochua Prime, which is ruled by elder predators. This planet is known to have 2 suns, and is within close proximity of other planets. It is here they're accepted as legitimate hunters. This hunt is meant to teach you predators the value of teamwork and to put their hunting skills to the test. The ceremonial mask is decorated in different ways, but one of its features that carries the most significance are the 3 circles on the forehead. This symbol represents unity and teamwork. It's also the same symbol for the predator's targeting lasers. After many years of hunting experience, these same young bloods will go through another rite of passage. They will return to one of their many sacred pyramids. During this event, they will face the xenomorph species for the first time. They are extremely dangerous. They are known to attack in groups to either kill you or to use you as a host for incubation. In this rite of passage, the young hunters must retrieve their plasma caster weapons. Once again, they are sent in as a pack of 3 and must work together. The xenomorph species are strong, able to climb walls, and leap great distances. Their entire body is considered to be a weapon. They have claws, a sharp tail, inner jaws, and even their death is lethal due to their acidic blood. The young predators must make their way through the pyramid as the walls shift to create passages. Once a xenomorph is killed, the predators would mark themselves with the blood of their kill. If they survive this encounter, their mothership would return to pick them up, and their status within the clan would rise. In some cases, a predator clan may hunt together, or arrive on a planet, and each of them would hunt their own prey. Now, a clan may choose to hunt the xenomorph species together, and claiming the trophy of a queen alien is considered to be one of the highest achievements. After years of experience, a hunter may return to their homeworld and hunt a Quatsma Ridge again, but this time, they will be alone. This is a very dangerous hunt for a single predator, but if they are successful, they are then allowed to separate from the clan to hunt other prey on their own. At this point, the predator has reached the status of an elite hunter, having amassed decades of experience against many types of species on various planets. These predators are considered to be very skilled in combat, weapons, and strategy. They are so experienced that one may even take an impossible task on their own. One example was the wolf predator going to Earth to stop a xenomorph outbreak caused by a pred alien. Any predator that aspires to become a spear master will go through their own rite of passage. A creature on their homeworld known only as a V-Drac inhabits the radioactive deserts of Yaochua Prime. This radiation is strong enough to kill most life forms, but the V-Drac survives here. It is also rite of passage, be armed only with a spear. If the predator kills this creature, it will use its hide and mold it into armor. The skin of the beach rat is highly resistant to fire, electricity, and radiation. Now, one of the highest positions for a predator to hold is becoming a clan leader. Some clan leaders will command small hunting parties, while others will control a mothership of hunters. Some clan leaders will partake in the hunts, while others will go on to become elders and will oversee hunts and rituals, but not partake in the activities. Some elder predators even return to Yautja Prime to rule over their planet, along with others of the same rank. This role is only granted to those leaders who have shown centuries of experience in hunting, commanding a predator group, and have shown tremendous amounts of honor. Now, throughout all of their hunts, the predators are bound to a strict code of honor. While their rites of passage have limited what weapons they have access to, their normal hunts allow them to use all their weapons. The predators are not merciless killers. They do not want to dominate the galaxy. Their species have a society with rules in place. These rules are meant to keep order and balance amongst everyone. A hunter must abide by these rules. They must hunt worthy prey that is a threat to other lives and is armed and able to defend itself. One must never hurt the innocent. If they are no threat to anyone, then they are not worthy prey. This includes unarmed targets, children, or one who is dying from sickness. They must not claim the kill or trophy of another predator. Stealing a kill is seen as being too weak to kill the prey yourself. If they have to hunt for food, they are to only kill the weak. This is meant to keep the strong members alive. If a predator is defeated in a hunt, then they must take their own lives. One must keep their honor by dying in combat, instead of living with the shame of defeat. If this predator does not kill itself, then it may be assisted by someone else. If a target has been wounded by another hunter, then it must be left to die from its injuries. But if this prey still were allowed to kill this prey, then it is then considered a joint kill. In the same event, a predator must not hunt in the territory of another hunter. This is considered stealing from their potential kills, and you can only hunt there if you're allowed by the other hunter. One must not murder another Yautja intentionally, but this can be excused if this occurs during a battle that has been agreed upon by both parties. One example is a wrestling match to settle a dispute. If a predator is defeated in battle and they are shown mercy or not killed, the enemy is seen as your equal. You must then kill them and yourself, or you must present them with a reward for their skills in combat. If a hunter breaks these rules, they are no longer accepted within the predator society. Predators that turn against this code of honor become bad bloods, and they must be killed off. These are the ones that separate themselves and go into hiding. They are seen as honorless killers.
You don't know the half
There
of
have
it.
been a few stories of bad bloods, but most of them are killed off during the story.
You're writing raps.
So with all this information, we can see that the Yautja society is governed by an honor system, and each hunter must go through various trials in order to increase their rank. Like us humans, they hunt for sport and trophies. We see these acts as a way of increasing a strong male or female status. The act of risking one's life in combat is how the predator society chooses who becomes the leader of its people. It's these leaders who are considered to be the strongest and wisest predators that will lead a brand of young bloods into the next millennia. So that wraps up this video. We had a look at the predator hierarchy in terms of hunting, the code of honor, and their society. So what did you think about this video? And what was your favorite topic that I covered? Put your thoughts in the comment section. Predator versus bad blood. This is one of those battles that test the skills of each predator. One of them, a warrior of its clan, hunting by a code of honor and in search of a ruthless killer. The bad blood. This one has no hunting rules, and it kills on contact with any method it chooses. Which one will prove to be the superior hunter? We'll find out in this story. Now it takes place in New Jersey, where an ex-CIA agent by the name of John Polnick arrives at a crime scene. He ventures in and comes across a campsite with multiple bodies. All of them have been mutilated in gruesome ways. John then gets attacked by the bad blood, but suffers minor injuries. Then he runs and gets backup from some local officers scouring the area. They get attacked by the bad blood, and John continues to run. The bad blood runs back into the forest, and John comes across a task force from the FBI led by Agent Cloud Loudermilk. John knows this guy is actually from the CIA, and he's then charged with the murders of the people in the woods. But John pulls out a gun and escapes in a vehicle. Meanwhile, a second predator has landed in the area in search of the bad blood. John reaches the house of an old friend named Kelso and tries to explain that he knows who the creature is in the woods, and he has his dreadlock to prove it. Kelso is unsure if he should trust John, but then more agents show up and take John into custody. It turns out that Agent Loudermilk is well aware of the Predator killing off everyone. It knows all about its weapons and camouflage technology and plans to hunt it down. Then, some old friends of John arrive and help set him free. A special task force is then sent into the woods in search of this killer. At the same time, John and his team are also searching the woods for the same target. Now, the special task force comes across a Predator spacecraft, and they find more dead Predators that were killed off. One of the agents tries to access the computer console, but finds that the ship was booby-trapped and it blows up, killing everyone inside. The other Predator, who was going to stop the agents from going inside, had also suffered some damage from the explosion from being a little bit too close. John's team then hears something in the trees, and a man's head is thrown in their vicinity. The team starts to shoot in all directions, but doesn't hit anything. Then, another task force team shows up, and before anyone can decide what to do, the Bad Blood jumps in and kills many armed people. But then, the other Predator shows up, and the soldiers shoot the wrong target. This Predator gets injured, and John jumps in to save it. The Bad Blood escapes into the woods, and John's men then decide to lower their firearms, as this Predator is not here to kill them. It sees they are no threat to him, and runs into the woods as it chases after the Bad Blood. The number of dead bodies keeps piling up, as the Bad Blood then locates more members of the task force, and viciously kills them. Then, the Predator tracks him down, and a battle takes place between them. The Predator uses a smart disc and spear gun weapon, but is then pushed to use his combi stick against the Bad Blood, who is using a sword weapon. The battle lasts quite some time, and they both suffer minor injuries. Meanwhile, John's team is still in the woods, searching for this Bad Blood, and even 2 heavily armed helicopters are sent in from the CIA. John's team and the choppers fire upon the 2 Predators that are fighting each other, and the good one gets injured. The Bad Blood even throws a combi stick at one helicopter and takes it down. This gives the Bad Blood time to enable a beacon on the dying Predator's wrist computer to track down his ship. The injured Predator then speaks to Mandy and gives her a tracking device to locate his ship so they can stop the Bad Blood from escaping. As one chopper locates the Bad Blood, it jumps into the helicopter as it passes by and kills everyone on board. It then jumps down before it blows up and attacks John's team. Most of his team are killed off, and John is attacked by the Bad Blood, but then Mandy shoots the Bad Blood and finally kills it. Then, a group of Predators descends from their ship to pick up the body of the Bad Blood, and then they leave the planet. The story ends with a cover-up of the incident where John is blamed for the murders. Now, I kind of like the story, and seeing 2 Predators battle each other was pretty cool, although I did not like the art style that much in this one. So what do you think about the story? Did you like it? Put your thoughts in the comment section. The story of Batman vs. Predator spanned over 3 comic books. Now the first one starts off with a boxing match between Marcus and Bersaglio. Now 2 gang leaders are betting on the favorite fighter to win. Marcus wins the match, and later on that night, he is killed by the Predator. Batman then goes to the crime scene to investigate and realizes this murder was very different. The victim's skull and spinal cord were removed. He assumes the other gang leader was involved, but then the losing boxer of that match and other people in his gym were killed off as well. Batman meets up with a SWAT team that's been called in to assist with his murders, and the Predator kills off one of the officers in front of them. They fire upon the Predator, but can't see where it went. Batman then becomes the focus of the Predator, but is spared. He later starts to put the murders together and realizes this killer is acting upon a code of honor when he chooses his targets. The 2 gang leaders named Alex Yeager and Leo Brodin agree to have a meeting and discuss about who is cutting off the members. This is when the Predator crashes in and kills Alex Yeager, but manages to escape before Batman arrives. But a trail of blood leads Batman to the Predator's location. They battle each other, and Batman is severely injured. He calls in for his Batmobile and escapes with at least some knowledge of who the killer is. During this time, Batman is out of action, trying to heal from his injuries, while the Predator goes on a killing spree in Gotham. Commissioner Gordon is also attacked but survives by the aid of a fellow officer. Batman is forced to fight the Predator, despite still suffering from his injuries and his new equipment not being fully tested. Now his new auxiliary suit gives him increased strength and improved vision to see the Predator. Batman locates the Hunter, and during their battle, he used the Batmobile to transport the Predator off, and the Predator kills himself with a sword after he kills Batman. And the other Predator of the clan takes the sword and gives it to Batman as a token of his victory against one of their hunters. Then the clan boards their ship and leaves the planet. The story isn't continued as Batman and the Huntress capture a criminal who reveals there is a price on Batman's death. So his boss hired some of the best assassins in the world to take him out. And during this event, another Predator became aware of Batman's victory over the previous hunter and has traveled to Gotham to challenge him in combat. It lands in Gotham River, kills one of the assassins, and later attacks the local police department. The Huntress comes in to help, but is captured by the Predator, but he spares her life as he mistook her for Batman. The Predator has taken to a place outside the city to lure Batman. Then as Batman arrives at the crime scene, he realizes this is the work of another Predator. He heads off towards the bat signal and walks into a trap with the Predator. The two have a long battle, with Batman struggling to find a weapon to use against him. Batman gets overpowered by the Predator and is knocked out. Then another assassin arrives and plans to kill Batman to collect a bounty on his death, but he is killed off by the Predator. Then the Huntress arrives to save Batman and they escape. As Batman comes up with a plan to hunt the Predator, he builds a scrambler device that nullifies the creature's stealth camouflage. He meets up with the Huntress again, and they approach Toraro, who hired the hit on Batman, but then the Predator locates them and kills Toraro. Batman then locates a body of a Predator and is confronted by another one who picks up the body and leaves. This means there is one Predator that is killing off their own species and is also hunting Batman. Commissioner Gordon then plans to use the bat signal to lure the creature to them, and as it appears, they fire upon it, but realize it's the wrong Predator. It escapes, while the real killer finds them and starts attacking the police officers and takes one as a hostage. It's later tracked down to its ship, and both Batman and the Huntress are lured inside, and the ship takes off. A battle ensues, and the hostage tries to help, but is killed in the process, but actually succeeds in impaling the combi stick into the Predator's chest. Then, out of desperation, it gains control of the ship and tries to leave the planet, but Batman and the Huntress fall out of an open door and land in the water. The previous Predator chases after this bad blood in his own ship and destroys it, but then two explosions are seen, indicating that both of them have died. The last story continues, with the city still suffering from gang wars. More mysterious deaths show up around the city, but this time, two Predators arrive and start killing off these criminals. It appears that an older hunter and a younger one are working together during their hunt. At the same time, Robin is now aiding Batman during his adventures, but is kept in the dark about the identity of the new killers in the city. Meanwhile, Mr. Freeze plans a robbery and manages to escape. As Batman pursues him, the Batmobile is put out of commission by Mr. Freeze and his henchmen. Mr. Freeze escapes to a frozen foods warehouse and they are attacked by two Predators. His crew is killed off, but Mr. Freeze is invisible to the Predator due to his body being cold. Batman chooses to keep Robin out of this mission so he doesn't become a target. Later on, Batman uses a helicopter to track down the Predators and injures one of them, but as they separate, one of them damages the helicopter and Batman is forced to eject. While this is occurring, Robin tracks down Mr. Freeze and questions him about his encounter with the enemy that killed his crew earlier. Robin also managed to learn some information about these previous hunts through government files with the aid of Barbara Gordon. As Batman still advises Robin to stay out of this case, Robin is seen by two Predators. Batman adjusts his new power suit to conceal his body heat by appearing as cold temperatures on the outside, thus making him invisible to the Predator's heat vision. He was also able to shut down Wayne Tech temporarily to use it as a battleground, but manages to only lure one Predator. During this battle, this Predator plays back some words in Robin's voice. It's now clear to Batman that Robin is being hunted as well. Alfred contacts him to warn him, and he manages to escape an attack from the other Predator. Robin makes it back to the Batcave and is followed and attacked. The Predator is about to drop Robin into a hole, but then Batman appears. He gives his hunter a trophy the other Predator had acquired on a previous hunt, indicating that he was defeated by Batman, and the Predators had lost this battle. Now the younger Predator was going through a rite of passage, and Robin was to be his target. The two Predators then leave the planet, and Batman hopes their loss in battle will keep them from returning. So that covers the 3 comic books of Batman vs. Predator. I thought they were written pretty well and the art was really good. I like how they used some previous information as a way of linking the stories together. So what did you think about this? Did you like it? Put your thoughts in the comment section. Prince Predator was a hunter featured in the 2001 video game Aliens vs. Predator 2. His story started 19 years ago on a jungle planet called Kurari. He attacked a Weyland-Yutani outpost, killing everyone except Vasily Rykov. During this encounter, Rykov was severely injured and was paralyzed. Now after this event, Rykov grew a hatred for the predator species and had to undergo surgery. He was given a synthetic spinal cord, but was required to take drugs off the black market just to be able to function on a daily basis. These two characters would meet again in the future during the events of Aliens vs. Predator 2. Now, this Predator's hunting clan traveled to the planet LV-1201 to respond to a signal sent from an ancient predator. As his clan arrives on the planet, Rykov, who is now a general for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, is aware of these predators. He sends a containment team to capture them with the use of EMPs. Now Prince sets out to save his clanmates. As he ventures through the jungle, he becomes aware of the xenomorphs are also present on his planet. He then battles a Praetorian and kills it. He then finds himself at the forward observation pods, guarded by turret sentries and combat synthetics. He infiltrates the base and kills a number of corporate soldiers and synthetics, but walks into a trap and is captured. Rykov takes Prince's biomask as a trophy and assumes they are safe for now. As he wakes up, the scientists in this lab are then killed off by the alien warrior who is part of the story, and the Marine, Harrison, who is also captured, ends up freeing Prince before he escapes as well. Prince then recovers his clanmate's biomask and finds most of his weapons. He also discovers a dead clanmate on an operating table. He makes his escape by jumping on top of a dropship and forces it to land. Now located in a new area, he sets off and battles many aliens with the use of the plasma caster. He also battles two Pred-aliens and kills them along with another Praetorian. The remainder of his clan arrives in their warship and shoots down a human dropship. One of his clanmates meets up with him and arms him with a smart disc weapon. As he continues on, he enters a facility and kills many humans and aliens, but also locates another fallen predator and left behind the plasma pistol. At this point, Rykov enters the hive while using an armored exosuit fitted with powerful weapons. He keeps Prince's biomask as an attempt to lure the hunter to him. Rykov goes deeper into the hive, killing many xenomorphs easily with the use of his exosuit, and awaits the hunter's arrival. Prince enters the hive, and it is filled with many xenomorphs like facehuggers, runners, warriors, and another Praetorian. Prince eventually meets up with one of the Queen aliens, uses all of his weapons and skills to defeat it, and continues on. The hunter finally locates Rykov, and they battle each other. Even though Rykov's exosuit has powerful weapons, he is unable to overcome the hunter's advanced technology and hunting skills. Rykov's exosuit is destroyed, and he is seen crawling, but Prince kills him. He reclaims his honor by retrieving his original biomask and rips out Rykov's spine and takes it as a trophy. His clan ship is then seen pursuing the USS Verloc in search of their next hunt. So that was the story of Prince in the video game Aliens vs. Predator 2 from 2001 on PC. Now this brought back a lot of memories for me. I actually ran into a lot of OG people from this community that found me through my videos because I've had this online game for over 15 years. Now I even remember the days back when AVP News was the pinnacle of everything related to Alien and Predator back in like 1999 when the first AVP game was released on PC. Now although AVP News did shut down, the community then migrated over to Planet AVP, and that eventually died out when GameSpy servers no longer hosted websites. So after that, the AVP community has been somewhat spread out. Now doing this video felt really nostalgic, so I'm happy to add it to my list. Although AVP 2 had its day in the sun a long time ago, some of the OG members like myself are still around. Now I'd like to thank Sadago for sending me the AVP News logos. He was the administrator of the old AVP News website from back in the day. So, what did you think about the story around the Prince Predator in this game? Did you like it? Put your thoughts in the comment section. This character, only known as the clan leader Predator, is presumed to be the supreme leader of Yahucha Prime. Some might even call him the Grand Elder. Supposedly, he has ruled for centuries and was seen as the wisest and strongest leader when compared to other elders. He has many legendary tales about his superior hunting record and fighting skills. Throughout these accomplishments, he has achieved the highest position in the Yahucha society. Now some predators in the past have tried to assassinate him and even tried to start an uprising to overthrow him, but all of these attempts have failed. he is seen as an impenetrable force and has earned the respect of many of his followers. His many stories bring fear to his enemies, and not all of them are brave enough to challenge him. Many stories about him have circulated around the Predator Society, and he is rarely seen by anyone. Although it is unproven, rumors have said he is immortal and possesses unnatural strength and abilities. Amongst using the standard Predator weapons we've all known, he has the addition of using mechanical tentacles to attach to his arms or shoulders. It is unknown if these tendrils are under his mind control or if they are automated and also for defensive purposes. Although the story about this clan leader comes from a description about people inside Rebecca, it has never been seen in any other source, but it does make us wonder how far a predator can reach and what technology they would apply to their hunting methods. Now, I normally don't do videos on characters that are just based off toys, but I kept getting a lot of requests for this one, and I can see why. And judging by its description, this predator is supposed to have reached the highest level within their society in terms of hunting skills, technology, and their hierarchy positions. Now, the mask looks very nice. It kind of looks like a mix of a dragon and a samurai together, but the big thing here are those tendrils. It's something really obscure for a predator to have, but I guess it's because we've never seen something like this before. So it was based upon a design by the clan leader Predator made by Canada back in the 1990s. So what do you think about the Predator clan leader and his description? Put your thoughts in the comment section. The Chopper Predator was another Yaochuan in the 2004 movie, Alien vs. Predator. He traveled to Earth to partake in a rite of passage with two other predators known as Celtic and Scar. Their pyramid was underneath 2,000 feet of ice on Buvatoya Island in Antarctica. This ritual is part of the Yaocha society, and all youngbloods will eventually go through this to become blooded. Survival is never guaranteed, and this would be the first time each predator would fight a xenomorph. So whatever skills they learn in hunting other species will be put to the test against these xenomorphs. As their mothership approached Earth, it used a laser beam with massive amounts of heat to create a path down to the pyramid. Now the pyramid had previously started up, and it was this heat bloom that was picked up by Mr. Whalen's satellite. He rounded up a group of experts from different fields to join him on this expedition. When they arrived at the Whaling station, they went down the shaft created by the Predator mothership in search of whoever might have created this path. Now Chopper, Celtic, and Scar start to arm themselves with their weapons and equipment. As their time to prove themselves has arrived, their mothership passes over the Whaling station, and 3 drop pods are sent down. As the pyramid prepares for the arrival of the predators, a frozen queen alien is brought up and thawed out by the nearby heat. She then returns to her egg-laying phase. The trio of predators then make their way to the Whaling station, and they kill off everyone part of Whalen's team. Some humans are left hanging, while others are killed off in a storage house. But one human, named Quinn, is found walking around and uses a pistol to unkill Celtic. These two have a brief encounter, and Quinn is knocked down the shaft, but is killed later on by Scar. At this point, one group of Mr. Whalen's team remains in the sacrificial chamber to catalog everything, but Mr. Whalen and his group proceed on. This team reaches a room with plasma caster weapons belonging to 3 predators. As they remove these weapons, it activates the pyramid to shift its inner walls. This then starts a cycle of alien eggs being transported to the sacrificial chamber where one group is trapped. They all become posed for facehuggers, and a group of xenomorphs are born. Seeing that their weapons were taken by the humans, the 3 predators race inside the pyramid. They ambush the group one time as they kill off 2 humans. Then, as the humans are separated, the predators split up with Chopper and Celtic going one way and Scar traveling alone. Celtic and Chopper plan an ambush on Wayland, Max, Lex, and Sebastian in another room. Celtic uses the net gun to trap Max and then kills him with a spear. Meanwhile, Chopper puts his attention on Lex and kicks her up against the wall. He then plans to use his scimitar blades to kill her, but he's impaled in the back by the great alien's tail. He is pulled up and comes face to face with a xenomorph for the first time, but his injury was too severe that he had little strength left inside him. He is then killed off by the great alien's inner jaw, and this is where the story of Chopper Predator ends. Now, the other name he was known for was Gill Predator because of the pattern on his mask, but the name Chopper was given to him because of the large bladed weapon under his arms, which is called the scimitars. Now, the super predators in the movie Predators had used a similar design for the wrist blades only having one long blade, so it's possible they could resemble the scimitar that Gill used. Now he had a pair of human skulls mounted on his back, which indicates he has hunted on Earth before. And in the game Predator Concrete Jungle, the Maul weapon also resembled scimitar blades in some way. So what did you think about the Chopper Predator? Do you think he should have had more time in the film? Put your thoughts in the comment section. The Predator spear gun is another weapon that's been seen across various sources, and although its design has been changed slightly, its use has remained the same. This weapon was seen on film in Predator 2 during the battle against the Jamaicans in the penthouse belonging to Ramon Vega. It was used on a target, and a headshot led to instant death. These spear tips are made from an unknown material that does not come from Earth. It was described as being very lightweight and was able to cut like steel. If enough force is used, this weapon can rip through flesh and shatter bone. It's also known to cause intense bleeding, which can slowly kill some targets.
No way!
Now, in the movie Predator 2, it was fired from the right gauntlet around the wrist area. You can see the wrist blade would be at the top, and on the bottom is a slot for the spear gun shot. Since this weapon was mounted on the right gauntlet, it is believed that ammunition will be scarce, and reloading this in combat is not an option. Therefore, the weapon is used once, and the spear tip must be retrieved after battle. Now, the weapon that was used on Blade and Predator was a mystery. You could say it resembles the wrist blades that might have been fired in the same manner as in the 2004 movie Alien vs. Predator by Scar. But you could also say it might be a spear gun shot. It's really hard to tell since both weapons were used in later films. Now, the fact that this image is distorted could have been intentional, just to leave more mystery to what this weapon was in Predator. So that topic is still debatable, but my guess is I think it was a spear gun shot. Now, in the video game Alien vs. Predator in 1999, the spear gun had a sniper scope for zooming in, which could improve accuracy, but this variation did not use spear tips. It would use large harpoons. This version was incredibly powerful that can tear off limbs, and it can even lead to instant death. The large harpoons could not be retrieved, but there was a spear gun ammo pickup that was never fully used in the final version of the game. The limited ammunition was possibly a way of trying to balance the weapon out, but even so, it still ended up being a very strong weapon in this game. Now, in the 2001 video game Alien vs. Predator 2, the spear gun returned with a similar design, but it used the classic spear tip projectile. Its primary function would use one shot. It had great accuracy and was best used for headshots, but the secondary fire would launch 3 spear tips in a random but close range to each other. It would provide more damage at the cost of having less accuracy. The spear tips in this game could be retrieved and used to refill the spear gun's
You don't know the half of it.
This weapon was also seen in the video game Predator Concrete Jungle. This spear gun had a different design, but could also hold more ammunition, and the projectile looks like small harpoons. So that covers the spear gun. Which design is your favorite, and what do you think about this weapon? Put your answers in the comment section. The story of Vasily Rykov starts back in the year 2211 on the planet Karari. During this time, he was a colonial marine who was attacked by a predator when he was at a Weyland-Yutani facility. This attack left him paralyzed, and Rykov had to undergo surgery to get a synthetic spinal cord. But he was also forced to take drugs off the black market, or possibly painkillers. After this event, Rykov grew a hatred for the predator species. These two characters would meet again 19 years later during the events of Aliens vs. Predator 2. Later on in his life, Rykov was now a general that commanded the Iron Bears and worked for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. He was stationed on the planet LV-1201. When a group of predators arrived in the Zeta region, he sent out a containment team armed with EMPs to capture the predator.
Yautja are apex predators who hail from their home planet of Yautja Prime. The primary goal of all Yautja is to become an honored member of their species, and to do that, they must hunt the deadliest prey in the universe. The deadliest being xenomorphs, and the most powerful of them, the Queen. All Yautja yearn to take down a xenomorph and ascend to blooded status, which makes them well respected within their culture. If a Yautja ever wants to venture out on their own unsupervised hunts, they must first prove themselves by stalking and killing a xenomorph. Once the unblooded has done so, they return with the skull and spine of the alien and achieve the rank of blooded and are given their iconic shoulder-mounted plasma caster. However, because of the plasma caster's overwhelming power, it is considered the least honorable way to kill any prey on a hunt. However, not all Yautja are made equal. There are various species and subspecies of Yautja that have evolved over time to suit their environment and predatory needs. After becoming blooded, Yautja travel alone to various planets where they can carry on with their ritualistic hunts, which include all manner of highly skilled warriors and the apex predators of other planets. They do this to continue their ascent up the ranks. Yautja begin at unblooded. Once they've killed a xenomorph, they reach youngblood, or more commonly, blooded. A youngblood in some clans is unblooded, while in others it means a blooded Yautja who has just recently killed a xenomorph. But after achieving blooded, they can work to attain the following ranks of elite, leader, elder, clan leader, and finally, the highest honor of clan elder. Climbing in rank, Yautja must adhere to a strict honor code, and any individuals who break the code are considered bad bloods and are cast out and hunted themselves by other predators. I'm not going to list every single rule of this honor code, as there are a lot, but I will note some relevant ones to help determine who is the deadliest. First, a Yautja must only hunt prey that can defend itself and or is able to kill the hunter. The prey must be of age, so no killing children and elderly. The prey cannot be killed if it would doom another, meaning that they cannot kill a pregnant woman, as the unborn would then die. The prey must also not be weakened by diseases. However, they can defend themselves if any of the over attack them. Second, killing more powerful prey simultaneously using less equipment is considered to be more impressive and a greater prize. Predators should typically give their prey a fighting chance for honor's sake. If the prey demands close combat, the hunter is to fight to their prey's standards and should minimize the use of plasma caster or other projectile weapons. And third, should the hunter fail in one's quest, he should take his own life to retain his honor rather than to shame. So all Yautja consider being defeated equal to death. So with all that established, let's determine which Yautja is truly the apex predator. Right off the bat, we can eliminate a couple of predators we see throughout the films, those being the unblooded who've yet to kill a xenomorph. So two of the hunters from Alien vs. Predator are out immediately, those being Celtic and Chomper. But what about the feral predator from Prey? Many assume this Yautja is unblooded, but I think a case can be made that it has killed a xenomorph and achieved blooded status. First, it has a shoulder-mounted projectile weapon on its helmet. While this isn't a plasma caster, you have to remember that Prey takes place hundreds of years prior to Predator, so this could be the plasma caster of the time. I know in ancient times the Yautja were shown to have plasma casters during a flashback in Alien vs. Predator. However, that is a separate canon, I think, so that alone couldn't determine the blooded status of the feral predator. Additionally, the feral predator is hunting unsupervised, also suggesting that he is in fact blooded. While there are ships seen in a mid-credit scene of Prey that may suggest he possibly could have been supervised, I'm not convinced these predators were actually supervising him, as this is likely the Lost tribe who had the flintlock pistol seen in Prey during the hunt of 1957, meaning they retrieved it after the feral predator's death. We know that their leader Greyback likes to put on separate but simultaneous hunts on the same planets, which we learned during Predator 2, meaning the other members of his clan would be hunting on Earth at the same time as the feral predator. While the feral predator is a different species of Yautja, I'm not sure that that would automatically prevent him from joining the Lost tribe, especially if Greyback saw that he was a suspect, which would be consistent as Scouts, an elite member of the Lost Tribe, is a different subspecies as well. Concerning how Greyback gets the flintlock pistol in the comics, that's probably going to be retconned. Either way, his blooded status is up in the air, and the canonicity of the universe and the rules of the universe are in flux at the moment with a new Marvel comic book series which just dropped that excludes the events of the two AVP films from the official timeline, but we're doing our best to make sense of it all. That being said, I think we can eliminate the feral predator from consideration as his blooded status is in question. He died during his first human hunt, often became frustrated and strayed from some of the code, and has more primitive equipment compared to the other predators on the list. So with all the unblooded eliminated, there are only blooded left to discuss, and from here on out, Chad is going to be hopping in and out of the video to help us take a look at some of the most iconic predators in the series.
During the events of the Predator novel, like that, he's gone to every planet in the universe that hosts an apex predator worthy to prey on, and he's basically hunted down every species in the universe other than humans up until that point, which would include xenomorphs, which are considered the ultimate prey of the Yautja, and are the prey that they choose to complete their rite of passage, which is basically becoming an adult for them. Because he's an honourable warrior, like pretty much most mainline Yautja are, he realises that Dutch is a proper worthy adversary, and instead of using his technological advantages like he does to everyone else before that in the movie, he takes off his mask and he's just like, yeah, okay, let's just throw hands to see who. He's like, okay, let's see what you've got, like you've come this far, and Dutch gets the one up on him because, you know, he had the prep time before that, and there was just so happened to be a log that he'd put up, and it hits the predator over the back of the noggin and incapacitates him.
The second is the City Hunter, a member of possibly the most elite Yautja clan in the universe, the Lost Tribe. The City Hunter is a newly blooded hunter who ventured with his tribe to Earth to take part in several solo hunts spanning the planet. He was eager to prove himself and was given a significant challenge. His leader, Greyback, decided that the City Hunter would hunt in the sweltering concrete jungle of Los Angeles. Even more overconfident than the feral predator was, the City Hunter went on a killing spree throughout the city, slaughtering indiscriminately. It's stated that if he had not been killed, Greyback would have sent in other predators to stop his rampage.
So you take Wolf, for example, he's a very no-nonsense predator, because his main job is cleaning up. And in AVPR, he just, pretty much every human he comes into contact with, he just kills. The honor code, it makes worse hunter, because it restricts the things that he can do. I don't think if Wolf was in the Jungle Hunter's position, that Arnold would have lasted. I think Wolf would have just killed everyone. Wolf, he's just built completely different, because he's able to fight a predator. He's pretty much in the process of becoming a queen. Queens are just, you know, bigger, stronger, like faster, just better aliens. Whereas like early in the movie, you literally see Wolf like just one hand like grab warrior class xenomorphs individually.
Finally, let's examine the crucified predator seen in Predators. He's part of the Jungle Hunter's tribe, and he was a blooded predator just like his fellow Jungle Hunter tribesmen who hunted Dutch's elite mercenary team in Central America. The crucified predator is powerful, to be sure, but was captured by the Super Predator clan and lost to their leader, Berserker, in a one-on-one battle, although he did well despite having the strength disadvantage. Out of this group, we think it's pretty safe to eliminate the Jungle Hunter, the City Hunter, the Crucified Predator, and the Scar. Despite the four of them being blooded, none of them have the pedigree of Wolf, who is not only a rank above them, but consistently undergoes more dangerous and impressive hunts than the others. Chad, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Super Predators?
A Super Predator is just another branch, stronger, faster, more intelligent, and we just see that in the final fight when a Super Predator literally fights a main branch Yautja. Tracker utilises attack dogs to do the tracking for him. He's basically like the houndsman, and that's what he's most respected for. That's how he earned his blooded status.
Falconer was obsessed with hunters from other planets who used birds of prey in their hunts. However, he was not satisfied with using another sentient being like his clan member, Tracker. So he built a deadly weapon of war, which was an amalgamation of technology scavenged from Yautja Prime, the Xenomorphs, and other civilizations that would provide the same functionality of a hunting bird, which would be much deadlier and more efficient. Falconer was shown to be an honorable warrior
predators in that movie, how they've kind of like DNA spliced themselves and become hybrids of different species. That has been spliced with human DNA. I mean, that's just a downgrade. As we see in the movies prior to that, humans are inferior physically. As for the Ultimate Predator, which is in a similar situation, he's pretty much upgraded with just some of the best species in the universe. He gets killed by a human with no prep time. The quote-unquote Ultimate Predator just gets like lit up by a dude with a gun. It's just not impressive in the grand scheme of things.
The final group for consideration are the rest of the Lost Tribes seen at the end of Predator 2, those being Boar, Stalker, Scout, Lost, Guardian, Warrior, and Greyback. The Lost Tribe are considered to be the best of the best. They have some of the greatest Yaoujins to ever live within their tribe, and they are well respected within Yaoujin Prime. Boar and Stalker are two brothers who were present during the City Hunters hunt. However, they were unblooded at the time and meant to only observe. When the two were eventually given the opportunity to hunt, they excelled and their teamwork became the stuff of legend, often going on exotic hunts and amassing riches. Scout is an interesting case. He's an expert sniper, which would typically be considered dishonorable. However, he is allowed to hunt alongside his tribe by coming up with their hunting strategies and only eliminating secondary targets. He, under no circumstances, is allowed to kill a primary target from range, but his unique skills make him a valuable asset. Lost was a former member of this tribe and where he got his name. He is a master of weapons who has grown past hunting biological life forms and now specializes in hunting beings with advanced artificial intelligence as a member of the Rogue Space Tribe. Now there is a statement saying that predators in general value hunting advanced AI over standard sentient beings. However, Lost was never granted the rank of elite, maybe because he's part of this Rogue Space Tribe, so it's kind of hard to determine just how deadly he is. With this statement, I mean, you could make an argument that he is the deadliest himself.
Guardian specifically, not only a former bodyguard, but his clan leader, was later basically recruited by Greyback for his skills. He's like the heavy weapons expert, but he eventually left the Lost Tribe because he wanted to hunt primary targets and started taking on the most dangerous xenomorph hunts, and that would also include the xenomorph queens. Even if a predator doesn't die on a hunt, but does fail said hunt, that they will basically commit suicide. So it would be a logical conclusion that, yeah, he did beat the queen xenomorph in the depicted artwork. He pretty much earns the title of elite warrior, and he's basically the guy that you send in when you need a job doing. Similar to Wolf, and they are also the same rank. Lore-wise, Warrior is more impressive because he basically participated in this thing called the Blood Ring on Yaoujin Prime. Pretty much just like gladiatorial combat. Things like projectile weapons are banned. You need to like master martial arts. Within the Blood Ring, he also fights pretty much the biggest and baddest that Yaoujin Prime has to offer, as well as Xenomorph. Even though he earned the title of elite, he does come back periodically to pretty much defend his title as the defending, reigning, undisputed champion of the Blood Ring. Not only is he the right hand of the leader, Greyback, but if Scouts plans fail, Warriors are on hand to take it down, which just gives the impression that he's just built completely different. When a Predator becomes blooded and earns their like right passage, they gain access to the Plasma Caster. Warrior has no issue putting that aside to engage in close quarters combat, and that puts him at like in an extreme amount of danger, especially if we're talking about the most dangerous xenomorphs and even possibly predators as well.
And finally, Greyback, who unfortunately is sort of a mystery. All we really know is that he's the clan elder, the highest rank achievable within the Yaoujin hierarchy. So out of the Lost Tribe, who are all high-tier blooded elites and even clan elders, only a few stand out among the rest, those being Lost, Guardian, Warrior, and of course, Greyback. So out of the remaining predators, who is the deadliest? Wolf, Lost, Berserker, Warrior, Guardian, or the legendary Greyback. The first on the chopping block of the best, in our opinion, is Lost. His feat of hunting advanced AI is cool, but he's the only one on here who has not achieved elite status, so unfortunately he cannot be considered the deadliest in our view. I mean, we're splitting hairs here, and he's got to go. From here, it gets very, very tricky, and honestly, I think the remaining predators all have a solid case. Wolf and Warrior are two elites who essentially serve the same role. They take down targets that others cannot. However, I think that Wolf has a slight edge. While we don't know if he's ever taken part in the Blood Ring, we know he can fight evenly with the Pred alien. don't know if Warrior has ever hunted a being that fast, cunning, or powerful, but I guess you might be able to assume Warrior has killed a queen based on his role within the Lost Tribe. But assuming Warrior has killed a queen, how would Wolf stack up against Warrior and Guardian? Well, we know Guardian has killed a queen. However, I think the red alien is deadlier game. It's stated to be the ultimate enemy, so I'd say it edges out the queen slightly. So do you consider stalemating an alien more impressive than killing a queen? It's really hard to say, but the difference between a red alien and a xenomorph queen is not that vast in our opinion, so taking down a queen would be more impressive than stalemating a red alien. So that eliminates Wolf, and as for Warrior, we don't know for sure if he's killed a queen, so again, it seems nitpicky, but
Oh, it's
have to
over.
eliminate all but one.
It's over.
So Warrior
GG.